Hello everyone, this is Wes, and welcome back to Wes Plays Pokemon Colosseum. In the last episode, we defeated Lady Venus, and we caught her Suicune. And in this episode, I know I'm starting in not the same place I was when I left off. Well, I mean, that's up to debate technically, because, I left off basically right where I stopped. However, you are seeing me in this area because I just couldn't wait to talk to you guys. I mean, like, I really like doing this chatty thing when I'm playing the game. It gives me a way to kind of vent all of the things that I wanted to say without having to feel self-conscious about. It's like, am I boring my audience? Because if I'm boring you guys, you can just turn away. And, it won't be such a big deal. So I mentioned before that I need a water-type Pokemon on my team, and, well, Mantine's just not going to do it anymore. And I know I probably said previously that I wouldn't use legendaries or something silly like that. I lied, okay, if I said that at all. And I honestly don't think I said that. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to save. We're going to save right now. But since we have that Suicune's a water-type Pokemon, we can do with that. I want to see something. I want to see if it's actually going to do it. Are you going to save? There it is. Okay, cool. It doesn't show up in the recording when it saves. I wanted to know about that, and just because it records the inner window and it doesn't record the outer stuff like the save file path. Okay, so I started this episode up because in the last episode we defeated Lady Venus, but I was chatting just about technology the entire time. I'm sorry if that bores you guys, but I guess if that bores you, you could probably skip this episode too, if you just want to skip the episode, for that reason. But I figure if you guys are watching Let's Plays, if you guys are like up and coming YouTubers, and you wanna record stuff or you wanna live stream stuff, and I honestly, out of the two, I recommend live streaming more. You get to chat when you do YouTube, but you also have to do video editing, and you have to worry about all the other interesting things. And I mean, I don't even show my face on YouTube when I stream or when I record these things. And I know that's not the biggest deal when you do things, but like. Yeah. So anyway, my advice coming up after, well, let's see what TM45 is. First of all, after we see what TM45 is, and second, after we read that Ian file. TM45 is Attract, of course. Lady Venus's strategy is, by the way, you would think she'd do Rain Dance and stuff like that since she has a water-type team, but nope, that's Mirror B's strategy. She does Attract. She does Paralysis, Confusion, and Attraction. I don't know if she actually does Paralysis, but I do know she does Confusion and Attraction. So we found an Ian file. Let's read it, actually. Ian file F is written on the file's cover. Read it. Yes. Final report. Some interesting discoveries were made about the purification process. There are several ways to cause the opening of the heart's door, and the resulting effects appear to differ with the original nature of the Pokemon. Also, the purification process advances, as the purification process advances, the Shadow Pokemon regains its moves and original nature. When the purification process is complete, the Pokemon regains all of the experience points it has accumulated, perhaps even enough to level up. By effectively using these features, it may be possible to create even more powerful Shadow Pokemon. Basically what they're saying is, you can purify the Shadow Pokemon after it's gained all that experience, and then turn it into a Shadow Pokemon again, or have a almost purified Shadow Pokemon, with the door to its heart open almost all the way, because it can't be purified until you take that final step. So they can just not take that final step, but they would have all of the moves that it could use, and it could still even go into Hyper Mode and all that stuff. But they like to rely on Shadow Blitz and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go and chase Lady Venus in this episode. I am still watching my timer. Unfortunately, last episode was actually pretty long. I mean, I guess not really by my standards too much. Okay, so if we unlock this door, we can go into the Pokemon Center and save and heal and all that stuff. Believe me, it's important. So we're going to actually go down this way, because this is the way Lady Venus is going. She's going to just take the elevator. And we can't take the elevator because it's basically an elevator that you can only take from the side that is using it. We're going to have to go down all these steps, so we're probably going to be pretty late by the time we get to her. We're going to have to battle all of her minions. Okay, So what I was saying before, advice for up-and-coming YouTubers. First of all is the hardware. The hardware is, believe me, important. Sadly, you kind of have to make an investment if you want to do it. Although, I will say that if you have, like, let's say you have an Intel Core 2 Duo, and that's it. You don't have any dedicated you don't have a dedicated graphics card, but you do have, say, let's say you do have onboard graphics. You just have a dual core Celeron. That's actually no big deal, you know. You don't have to worry too much about that. Sorry, excuse me. I just ate breakfast. It's still the morning for me. It's still the morning of the episode. I think 2 episodes before this one, actually. 3 episodes before this one. It's still the same morning of the announcement video, or not the announcement video, but the shout-out video. I guess I was gonna do it. I was gonna try to do it in 1 episode, and I don't organize my thoughts so well, so you're gonna have to deal with that. I'm sorry. But anyway, so say you have a Core 2 Duo machine. You can still technically record with that. It's a powerful processor, and if you want to play, you know, well, you can still technically record low-power things with that. You can't do like Dolphin Emulator and live stream at the same time, especially with Livestream's Procaster. It's kind of a heavy program. And I won't sugarcoat it. It's really a hard program it's a hard program to get along with if you have a low-powered CPU. The Celeron, however, the Intel Celeron for notebooks and laptops is a terrible processor. Hands down, just don't get anything with a Celeron processor, guys. Even if you're not recording, streaming, or anything like that, just don't get it because it's a horrible processor. The onboard graphics are so old and outdated. Like honestly, that thing can barely handle anything. But yeah, moving on from that particular hardware perspective. If you do want to play like games on the machine, you don't need that powerful specs either, and that's proven by first of all the fact that if you don't have a really good computer now, odds are you won't care so much about the frame rate in games because you'll probably use the argument that well the human eye can only see 30 frames per second. The truth is, while you may only see a certain number of frames with your human eye, it doesn't mean it's any less smooth when there are more frames. And the fact is, you know, say if you could only see 15 frames per second, the game would still run better if it were at a higher frame rate. So 120 frames per second it's definitely a ridiculous amount. I will admit that. But and wow, I still can't believe that we did that. We didn't even waste a netball while doing that, while catching that one Pokemon. We're still gonna use a great ball here. Anywho, so yeah, no matter what you can see, you still do want the higher frame rates, and honestly, 120 frames per second would be awesome in every game. But the truth is, the smoothest you're gonna get, like at 30 frames per second constant, is pretty dang smooth. It is butter smooth. If you don't drop below 30 frames per second, you are golden in a game because the game will run it. That's its intended speed. If you want 60 frames per second, it looks a lot smoother, and it will probably perform a lot smoother too. But the truth is, you know, it doesn't go any it doesn't go slower if it goes. The game doesn't stutter, or you know, the game doesn't stutter and sputter if you go below 60, or if you go below 60 frames, between 60 and 30 frames per second. But 30 frames per second is still basically what you're shooting for. That's like, 60 frames per second is still what you're shooting for. That's the magic number. You definitely want above 30 if you want to play games. And I actually have a channel to recommend. I might put links in the descriptions for all of these channels or the particular video that this stuff is coming from. But for this one, oh gosh, what's his name? I can probably... Oh, Greenham Gaming. Greenham Gaming TV, or GHD TV. Greenham Gaming is just what I'm remembering. If you look that up, you can find this guy's videos and reviews and stuff like that of really old hardware, mixed with decent, like seriously, not even top of the line, but decent like graphic cards, and it actually works. One of the computers he uses is a Core 2 Quad with a GTX 750 Ti. It is honestly, if you have an old computer like that, and odds are, you know, you might actually have that. I'm not going to straight up say, you know, it's like, oh, everyone and their brother has that. No, I'm not going to be that mean. I'm not going to be that exclusive. But I'm going to say, you know, your computer is probably at least that powerful. And if it's not, then honestly, okay, if your computer's not at least that powerful, I mean, yeah, you can watch YouTube videos and stuff on that, and stuff like that on it, but I don't want to say there's no hope either. You can do other things with the computer, okay? One of the things you could do probably is load a light version of Linux on it, and maybe even play games and record with that, although that takes a lot of configuration. I'm not going to be one of those people that says Linux is better, because the truth is it's not. You know, Linux isn't, it isn't actually so great, because you have to configure everything. It's not like, it's not like saying, you know, everything is configurable in this, so that makes it good. Well, yeah, everything is configurable, but that's because everything has to be configurable. You know, you can change things in the operating system base code without breaking your operating system, but if you're inexperienced, you could break your operating system anyway. And you can even break your hardware if you do some silly things like overclocking on a laptop or something like that, or you know, just underestimating or overestimating the power of your PC while setting up some type of performance thing for it. You can just crash it completely. I've had instances of Linux where I could not use the thing again because of I could not use the operating system again because of how because of some tweaks that I wanted to make. Okay, seriously? Just freaking go. So yeah, there are things that you can do with low-power computers. However, for recommendations of hardware, I can recommend, you know, again, Greenham Gaming TV will show, you know, the power of all the computers on all the operating systems and everything, or, well, Windows operating systems. He will go all the way back to XP, even though it's not supported. I wouldn't do that, but that's partially because, you know, you can get a gaming PC for a pretty decent price, especially if you're willing to make some sacrifices. So if you're just gaming, I can recommend, you know, a dual-core CPU, unless you want to play like the top AAA titles. I can recommend a dual-core CPU, or actually preferably a dual-core APU, which wouldn't technically be dual-core, you know, because you'd have the graphic cores to do some computing stuff too. We're going to do one more battle in this because, you know, we don't want to drag this Let's Play out 5 ever. If you're mean to me, I'm going to cry, okay? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Firma. I think that was her name. I don't remember. Ooh, look how smooth it is here. Oh gosh. Oh, Frina. That's her name. Okay, so again with the hardware, you know, I can recommend a dual core. At least dual cores is what I mean by, you know, what I mean by dual cores is 2 processing cores, not 2 graphic processing cores. And so like my old APU, it was an A6 7400K. It was overclockable even though I didn't overclock it. Also another reason why I got the heatsink that I did, a new heatsink. Oh dang it. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Sorry guys. Battle might be a little bit longer just because I did it. Or it might be shorter because I did that, because strategies for the win, you know, you guys all know that. So yes, so I can recommend an APU wholeheartedly, because you can build a $300 system with an APU in it. You know, and the case at the moment isn't important, and even the heatsink actually at the moment isn't important. You know, you can go with stock stuff. You can go with crappy stuff, especially if you're comfortable with upgrading in the future. And like me, I was kind of silly. I upgraded within a year. Actually, I think my computer is a whole year old. I'm sorry if you can hear that stuff in the background, but my computer is a whole year old, and I've already made so many upgrades to it, such as upgrading the case, which seems ridiculous now because of it seems ridiculous now because the case wasn't a necessary upgrade. The case didn't improve performance at all. As a matter of fact, it didn't really improve form factor that much either. It's just making it look prettier, because I wanted a Corsair Air 240, okay? That's quite as simple as it is. And, you know, when you already have the performance level you want, you don't have to upgrade that much further. I mean, honestly, I could upgrade the RAM, but that's a cheap upgrade, and, you know, I'm less likely to want to do it, let alone actually do it. I only have 4 gigabytes of RAM in here. And it is higher speed RAM because I'm running an APU system, and I could like basically double the bandwidth of it if I had dual channel. But you know, you don't need copious amounts of RAM. You don't need copious amounts of graphical processing power and graphic RAM and all that stuff like that. you can't judge a graphic card on the amount of RAM it has either, by the way. The RAM helps, it does, and the bandwidth of the video RAM helps as well, but you can't judge a graphic card solely on that. And again, that also goes with my argument for APUs. Is that APUs, they don't have, you know, a ton of graphical power, but they have enough. And you can technically crossfire it with a graphic card, although I've looked it up and it actually doesn't make sense from a price to performance standpoint to do that instead of just getting a slightly lower powered graphic card and a slightly lower powered processor right off the bat. Because you have options, truthfully. You know, you will always have options. And that's kind of the whole point of this, you know. What you make is up to you. And for recording and stuff like that, honestly, okay, so here's where I really get into it. The reason I go with AMD is because is for recording and streaming and stuff like that, and like oh gosh, what is it? Higher graphics, like if you want to go up to like 4K or whatever. And I'm not gonna say you're gonna go to 4K on an APU. Seriously, don't think that, because that's wrong. You're not gonna get that far with an APU. However, an APU will be great at gaming, and as you can see, it's decent at recording. It's probably recording at the quality of the video right now. And I could probably actually turn my quality up in my OBS settings because I haven't dropped a single frame yet. And that's my point, you know. I upgraded the CPU not because I had to, because obviously I was doing Let's Plays of games and I was able to play Skyrim and stuff like that. I wasn't able to record or stream Skyrim yet. I probably can now. The point of it was actually for multitasking, you know, so that I could run more programs at their, I could run more programs with higher priority each. And that's what I really wanted to do. Right now my bottleneck is actually the network, if I want to stream and stuff like that. However, it's not much of a bottleneck. It's just somewhat of one. By the way, FaceRig is incredibly graphic intensive. Just want to point that out there. So yes, oh gosh, what am I saying? Where am I going with this? I am lost again. I am so sorry, guys. But yeah, that's why I chose AMD over it, because I stream and I record, and AMD seems to be better for that. Plus, AMD is much cheaper. Although, you know, that doesn't say everything. That's not the whole story, you know. I could still probably be better off with, you know, more cores on the Intel side, more cores at a lower clock speed, and it might still perform even better. So yeah, we don't know, and that's kind of the whole point, you know. I don't know which one's technically better, because I haven't really experienced anything new on the Intel side aside from the Celeron and the Atom processors. So, you know, I guess I'll see at some point. But yeah, form factor for your computer is kind of important, but I don't really know what else to say on the matter. I guess really what I wanted to say, you know, I just wanted to rant in the last episode about the Celeron CPU and how, you know, just don't buy anything with that. It's horrible. But you can still get pretty far with lower powered CPUs if they're slightly more modern. The one I'm using right now, if you guys are curious, the setup I'm using right now, the specs I'm using right now, I don't know what my motherboard is. I mean, I know I probably can find out easily what my motherboard is. I mean, the manual is probably like right next to me somewhere. Because I had just upgraded the computer last week, actually, or actually no, it was this past week, because it's a Saturday now. So I just upgraded the thing this past week, but oh gosh, or I might have done it literally last week. I don't remember. Anyway, I don't know what my motherboard is, but I'm using a 430 watt power supply because I didn't need a powerful graphic card for my system just yet. If I get a more powerful graphic card, obviously I will probably have to upgrade my power supply. But it's a Corsair Builder series. I don't know what the letters on it are. I could actually probably look right now and see, but I don't. The case I have is a dual chamber design, so it would be a little bit. I'd have to open up the window and everything, and you guys probably know about that. If you like to think about computers. So I have a pretty low power supply because I plan on doing an APU system in the first place, or using a low power graphic card that could be powered through the motherboard, through the PCI Express bus, or powered over, or whatever. I don't really know. But yeah, I wasn't intending on putting like a GTX Titan X in this machine, so it wasn't a big deal to get an uber powerful power supply that wasn't going to feed the rest of the system. The APU I have is an AMD A10 7870K. I upgraded to an A10 specifically because I wanted more cores, and I wanted faster cores. The speed that I had for each individual core on my last processor on the 7400K was actually adequate. It worked. It played everything that I wanted to. It did everything I wanted to, except for multitasking. But that's why I got more cores, because I wanted more cores for better multitasking. Of course, my dream system will probably be a dual Xeon system with it would probably be a dual Xeon system with like 7 graphic cards in it. There's another reference to Linus Tech Tips if you guys watch that. If you watch like the 7 Gamers 1 desktop, I could probably link that in the description. It's probably pretty taboo to keep doing this stuff, but it's what I'm interested in, and it's what I like to talk about. And so I have no real quarrels doing it. I can't believe this Stantler is so freaking hard to catch. Oh my gosh. You're like wasting my Pokeballs and my viewers' time, Stantler. Okay, so, but yeah, that's probably what my dream machine would be. However, for now, I have to understand, the reasonable costs associated with it. Oh, and my RAM. That's right. You guys probably want to know my RAM. It is a holy shnikes. Really, Stantler? Really? It's a set of Kingston HyperX Fury RAM, clocked at 1866 megahertz. Yay! It missed, which means we still have another chance at catching it. Holy shnikes. This is ridiculous. I could probably use a timer ball and it would work better, but I don't want to. I don't want to cheat right now, because I don't need to. So sick of this battle right now. Anyway, I guess I'll start signing off now, because I'm pretty confident that maybe this turn I'll catch him, or he'll die. But thank you all for watching. I have been X-Snagger, Wes, and you guys are a great audience and all that stuff. Thank you for watching. If I don't catch... Oh, I'm screwed. I don't want to cut. I really don't want to cut. But he's probably going to die this turn anyway, because he's going to actually hit. His accuracy can't be that low. Oh, he missed again. Okay. Well, whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching. You're a great audience and all that stuff. I really do love recording these episodes. This might be the last episode I record today. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I enjoy getting to talk to you guys, and I guess I just do a whole bunch of episodes every once in a while, every now and then, because it just gets like so addictive to just keep chatting nonstop. Are you freaking kidding me? It's gonna... Oh. Why do you keep... Pretty sure I've cashed out on this. This is ridiculous. Yes, I am mashing B right now. I hate this Pokemon. I hate this Pokemon so much. And it's dead, finally. My gosh, do you have any idea how many Ultra Balls you wasted, Stantler? You are ridiculous. I don't know why Stantler is harder to catch than a Suicune. You guys all saw that. You guys will agree with me. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Look forward to more episodes from me and stuff, because I do plan to. Doesn't mean I'm going to. I do plan to, which is usually good enough. It usually means that I will actually be able to get to it. Yeah. Anyway, it's been great. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are all awesome. See you in the next episode.